Well, Bulldog fans, this is episode 5 of On the Engine, and we've had a couple of pretty good, the last 2 episodes have been pretty good, some fun Engine 18 stuff. Today I've got Dr. Glen Johnson. He is the president of the Bulldog Club with the University of Montana Western, and we're happy to have Dr. Johnson with us. Would you explain what the Bulldog Club is about?
Well, it started a couple years ago, and it's kind of been non-existent. I hate to apologize, but we got to get stuff going. We got to get things going for our kids, and that's the main thing. It's a scholarship organization to raise money for athletics, so that our kids in all sports that we need to pay for have money to do it. And we're going to work in hand with Engine 18 and the other organizations on campus to raise as much money as we can for Bulldog athletics. And so I hope to rejuvenate the club and get going, and with the help of people like Engine 18, do the best thing that we can for our athletes here at Western.
I do know that maybe there's been a little bit of confusion among people that Engine 18 and the Bulldog Club are competing against each other for the same dollars. But that really isn't true. I mean, we are both trying to raise funds for student athletes at Western, and we're doing it actually kind of hand in hand in a lot of cases.
Yeah, Engine 18 is able to do what they do with their tailgates and their meals, and what we're trying to do is through membership and through socials, hopefully at before games, after games, basketball games, socials, and get some more parents involved.
Exactly.
And work hand in hand with Engine 18, because we are, I guess, kind of competing for the same dollars, but we have the same goals. And
Exactly.
So we're going to be talking to the same people who have Western athletics in as their focus, and try to bring all those people together under one umbrella, and that's our kids.
Good.
And we've talked about this, and we're going to try to do it this year, is set up something for the parents.
Yeah.
Parents of the student athletes to really get involved with both the clubs, Engine 18 and the Booster
Sure,
Bulldog Club.
We need to
And we need to figure out some ways to do that, I guess.
We need to know the parents.
Right.
And
them
you know,
involved
and that's
and
what
get
I think part of my job is too, is going around. I don't think Western athletics has had a face to it for a while, and if we can become, Engine 18 and the Bulldog Club can become the face of Bulldog athletics and make people feel welcome when they come to a football game.
Yes.
You know, especially when it's their first time and they've driven here from Spokane, and their kids are redshirt, might not even be playing, but they
Right.
welcome them, you know, tell them, you
The
know.
faster they feel part of the family,
Yeah,
the better.
yeah.
Someone's got to start shaking hands and kissing.
That's what I'm
babies,
saying,
you know?
exactly,
I'm telling you,
yeah.
It's
Right.
Yeah, and we've noticed a big thing with the parents. They come up, and the same ones come like every week.
Sure.
You know, and we need to get
Exactly.
more and more of them. And
Well, and if we can get them even saying, you know, you meet another parent, or you know another parent, bring them with you, yeah. Well, and I think another thing we got to do is get the word out there, especially to people of my age group, that even the 80s, 70s, and 80s, that funding of
Not 80
athletics.
years old.
No,
70s and 80s, sorry.
graduated in the 70s and 80s. That might be in their 50s and 60s, but athletics aren't funded like they used to be. You know, there's not room and board scholarships anymore, and not every kid that walks, as soon as you're emancipated from your parents, you can't get work study anymore like you used to be able to, you know?
Right.
And so a lot of people don't understand that. And we need to get that word out there that these kids, the scholarship a kid, you know, costs $16,000 for an in-state kid. But you're right, we gotta do that. We've gotta get, people gotta start enjoying themselves and having a reason to come to the tailgate, come to the game an hour early, hour and a half early, and to stay afterward for a reason.
So I guess I was going to go a little more personal with Dr. J, just get some background with him. So where do you call your hometown, and what year did you come to Western?
I grew up in Superior, Montana. I came to Western in 1974, played football for 4 years for the Bulldogs, graduated in the spring of 78, was fortunate to be a member of the 77 Frontier Conference Championship team. And some people have been around Western Athletics have known me kind of because we call ourselves the old dogs. We're the guys that go to Pony every year in the spring, and we are a Western family like all Western family are, and so we want to keep that thing going. And I coached and taught and was an administrator in Montana for 30 years, and fortunately the last 10 years, between 30 and 40 years of educational career as a superintendent here in Dillon. And got reacquainted with Western Athletics and really want to do good things here.
Great. So, as you mentioned, you've been a teacher and an administrator for many years. I'm just curious, how many Western grads do you think worked with you or under you in all of your years in education?
I don't know if I could put an actual number on it. I guess there's some famous ones. I gave Coach Choate at the MSU his first job, and R.J. Rogers, who's coached in the Shrine Games, an assistant coach up at Fairfield, worked for me, and both those guys in Idaho. Manny Garza up at Helena High School played for me at Belt, and then came down here and was an All-American. And I've always been proud of the fact that I've tried to hire Western people because I feel that Western graduates are the best teachers and the best coaches. And so I'd hate to try to put a number on it, Keith, but if you were a Bulldog and I got your resume, you had a one leg up right there.
Okay. So, you moved back to Dillon, and you were an administrator the last few years. You were before you retired, and you have retired here.
Yeah.
Was it your experience as a student athlete at Western that brought you back to the town of Dillon?
I always, for some reason in the back of my mind, wanted to come back to Dillon because of the family atmosphere that was here when I went to Western, and how I always felt when I came back to visit. And so the opportunity, I mean, I had a great job and was being paid well up in Chester when this job opened up. But I just thought to myself, I'm going to give this job a try or put my name in the hat, and if I get it, it'll be a great place to come and to serve out my end of my career. And it was the best 10 years of my 40 years in education. The kids here, the people here, the support of the community, the support of the college, and everything. And built a home here. My wife retired teacher in Butte, and we now live in Dillon.
So, your crew from the 70s that you played with and went to school with, somehow you guys have remained amazingly intact as a group for all these years. There's not another group that supports Western athletics, Western in general, like you guys. I'm curious, what's the secret that you guys keep so close and always manage to make every football game, away games? What's the secret?
It's the Bulldog spirit, the Bulldog Brotherhood. It's hard to explain. I mean, we were a team from the time we started. I mean, I think when I came here as a freshman, there was 75 freshmen that year came into camp, and there was only 6 of us left when that 4 years was over. But we've been in each other's weddings and seen our kids grow up and play together and those kind of things. And it's just, I don't know. It's a brotherhood, I guess, the best way to put it. I mean, I didn't have any brothers, but I've got 20 of them that I can count right now, and I can count on them for anything.
Absolutely. Okay, so my last question. All of us Western grads that played football, and it depends who you ask. Do you think Tech's a bigger rivalry? A bigger rivalry, or is it Carroll?
When I played here, it was Tech. I mean, I won't say what was written inside of the old blue bus that we used to take over to practice, but it had nothing about Carroll. It did have things about Tech. And I think by the time I was a senior, we knew that we had to beat Carroll to win the Frontier Conference. So maybe that year was Carroll, but Tech that year was picked to win the conference, and we had our way with Tech. And so I've always, I guess, had
So
a
your
dislike.
group from the 70s.
We had more dislike for Tech than we did for Carroll.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was my last question.
And of course, Northern didn't have football
No, absolutely.
when I played, so we didn't have that rivalry with them either. So, just some things that I'd like to say that what I'd like to do are football games to start out with, and all of our games, but some things that we need to do is we need to have a 50-50 going before games. And hopefully we can get the volleyball players to sell 50-50 tickets at the football games, and the football players to sell 50-50 tickets at the basketball games, and the coaches all buy into the fact that we're all trying to help the same kids. And the more money there is, the more money there's to split up and to give to those kids. And so 50-50 things, whatever ideas that people, have that can help us to raise money. Engine 18 does a great job. The food giveaway and things for kids is wonderful, and so if we can keep those kind of things up, but just ways to I guess have fun and to raise money for our kids. And I've talked a little bit to the chancellor about possibly using the Hall of Fame room for pregame and postgame socials at the basketball tournament. We'd have to work with probably one of the establishments here in town to be able to set that up so that there was a cash bar there or whatever, so that we could, but get parents involved and parents and boosters, give them something to, besides coming and just sitting at the game and going home, to look forward to the game day experience.
Yeah, I know that we've talked about having something for the volleyball, or even if we could do it at a basketball game, get Smoker 1 or Engine 18 up there and do something out of the Celts Arena, and I think that'd be an awesome.
Especially, I think when we're playing conference games.
Oh, yeah.
Like if we got Tech coming to town or Carroll or something, and we know it's a big game, if we could have, the girls' game starts at 5:30, so start at 4:30 or 4 o'clock with something in the arena or upstairs, wherever we could, and raise some money for our kids and have a good time and try to bring more people, local people.
Well, why can't we tailgate for basketball and volleyball like we tailgate
can.
for football? I think we can do both.
Yeah, I do too. Well, and you guys do a good job just by putting the boot out, and that's what we need to do.
We're not going to be here forever, and you want to leave it better than you found it.